Hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Even though I did get confused earlier and think it was Tuesday for a brief moment, it's been sort of a wacky day here. But of course, with it being Wednesday and not Tuesday, it means that it is once again time for our Power Rankings episode. Just as a reminder for these episodes, we take a look at the rankings from the top 5 rankings from ESPN, NFL.com, Bleacher Report, CBS Sports, and USA Today. So without further ado, we're going to jump in here and go ahead and take a look at who the media is ranking in their top 5 here headed into week 6 of the NFL action. So up on the board, you can see it, the rankings. Everybody's still leaving the Patriots as their top team. You can see almost across the board, the Saints are the second-rated team, with CBS having the 49ers there. In third place, you have a lot of Kansas City, except for, once again, CBS, who for some reason has decided not even to have Kansas City in their top 5 this week. And then you can see from that point on, it gets a little more dicey with several teams swapping in a variety of teams, including the Seahawks, Packers, the Lions still holding strong in number 4 for USA Today. So a little bit of variety, a little bit of spice this week. And Kartik, thanks for tuning in on your trip into work on the train. And Jeff, yeah, it's certainly sucks when you get your days mixed up. It usually happens on times when you're away from work, but for whatever reason today, just getting all sorts of discombobulated. But those are the media rankings. Here's how they line up against my own power rankings. Let's go ahead and throw those up here. You can see my top 5 teams. We got the Patriots, who will be hosting the Giants this weekend. You got the Saints, who will be visiting Jacksonville. Kansas City, who will look to rebound after their first loss of the season against Houston. The Packers, who of course will be playing Detroit on Monday Night Football. And the 4-0 49ers there, breaking into my top 5 for the first time this season. They have a decent challenge there going to Los Angeles to take on the Rams. Taking a look at who the 49ers have played so far this season, yes, they are 4-0, but they haven't necessarily played a lot of great teams. They've been beating up heavily on the AFC North with victories against the Bengals, the Steelers, and now the Browns, taking care of business. We talk about the NFC North being a very tough division. Obviously, we do the Kings in the North segment, which we did yesterday. And certainly, NFC North, I think, is the toughest division in the NFL currently. I think close behind that is the NFC West, where the 49ers play. You have the 49ers, you have the Rams, you have the Seahawks. The only team that really isn't at that level competing currently is the Cardinals. Of course, they have the rookie head coach, the rookie quarterback. It's going to take some time for them to get up there and challenge those other 3 teams. But otherwise, you look at the Niners, the Rams, the Seahawks, very good teams. That 49ers defensive line was looking particularly good against that Cleveland Browns offensive line, which, granted, isn't very good. So this is going to be their first real test. They'll be taking on the Rams this weekend, and we'll have to see if they're worthy of holding on to that top 5 spot that I'm giving them, because, again, really to this point in the season, they've only beaten up on those AFC North teams who have struggled. The Bengals don't have a win this season. The Steelers only have 1 win. And the Browns can't seem to make up their mind whether they want to be a good team or a bad team. So, it's take it with a grain of salt. Yes, you can't take away from the fact they are undefeated. They are 4-0. But this weekend's test against the Rams, especially playing at the Rams, is really going to be our first chance to kind of get that measuring stick game to see how good the 49ers actually are. And so it'll be interesting to see how things play out there. Of course, if you're interested in knowing who will be taking in those games, we do our Pick'em episode on Saturdays, so be sure to tune in then to see who will be going in that matchup between the 49ers and the Rams that'll be played on Sunday. Outside of that, let's take a look here at where the Lions are ranked in People's Power Rankings. Of course, these are the same 5 sources here. As mentioned, with the Lions, no movement in USA Today. They're still the number 4 ranked team. ESPN, even though the Lions were on the bye week, did have them drop down a spot. NFL.com had them stay steady at 13. CBS Sports had the biggest decline, dropping them 4 spots down to 16. And Bleacher Report actually had them improve 1 rank to 15 this week. That brings their average rank to 13, which is a change of 3 minus from the previous week. They were averagely ranked 10th last week from all these sources. So not surprising to see their average rank fall there. Again, the Lions were on the bye week, so they were sort of stagnant there. All the other teams having a chance to show off there. But, of course, we've been talking about it all week long. Upcoming Monday night, you have the matchup in Lambeau between the Packers and the Lions. Certainly a chance there for the Lions to make a statement and potentially move into a lot of people's top 5s, depending on what they do against the Packers. Again, we'll be going over the specifics of the game and giving you our picks later on this week. But it's going to be a challenging game to say the least. And of course, the interesting thing there will also be the winner of that game will kind of have the de facto lead in the NFC North. It was one of the questions we asked in yesterday's video was, do you think the winner of this game will go on to win the NFC North? Posted it to Reddit on both the NFL subreddit and the Detroit Lions subreddit. Got some good traction there. A lot of people weighing in. It's very early. It's week 6. There are still plenty of weeks left ahead. This is one of 12 games remaining on the Lions schedule, so there's definitely a lot of work to be done there. But certainly, I think whoever does come out of that game, would be it helps both teams to get a win there. For the Lions, it stops the Packers from jumping out to that 3-0 lead in the NFC North, and for the Packers, it would certainly establish them quite a lead as they look to win that NFC North title, as we've talked about. But yeah, overall, I think, again, we'll toss them up here just so you can see the media rankings. Nothing real surprising. As mentioned, the 49ers haven't played the Seahawks yet either, so the Rams are, again, another team we've seen pop up into people's top 5, so it'll certainly be interesting to see how the undefeated 49ers do against the Rams. But, I think most of these teams are pretty self-explanatory. Of course, the Packers taking care of business last week against the Cowboys. Really, a lot of people had them already in their top 5. And Dallas was also a top 5 team, so getting that victory there just helps solidify their position. The Patriots have just looked tremendous outside of, they did look a little human against the Bills. Buffalo certainly gave them a little bit of a run for their money there, but last week cruising to a victory against the Washington Redskins, coming out 33-7 there, and essentially sending Jay Gruden out of town with that victory. And of course, the Chiefs, they did have that tough loss at home, which I think is, from my perspective with my power rankings, that's one of the reasons why I dropped them down below the Saints, even though they're both 4-1. The fact they lost at home in Arrowhead to the Colts, I certainly, and I said during the Pick'em episode that there was certainly a chance the Colts could win that game. But certainly I don't think anyone had the expectation they would win the game because of the fact it is at Arrowhead. And the Chiefs have been playing some very good football. Arrowhead is not an easy stadium to go in to get a win. So with them getting the win there, it's going to be interesting to see if that loss ends up saying more about the Colts or about the Chiefs by the time the end of the season's done. I kind of think that the Chiefs are going to keep carrying on, and it's just one game to them. But it could be a sign that the Colts are certainly maybe the favorite there in the AFC South. Of course, I picked the Houston Texans, who were my preseason pick to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl to be the AFC South champions. But the Colts might have something to say about that moving forward, given the fact they were able to come out triumphant over the Chiefs last week. But yeah, overall, I think we have a pretty good slate of games coming up this week. Most of the power teams of my power 5 or my top 5 will be getting action. So, going to be a good week of football. Should answer a lot of questions, and going to be exciting to see how things change here and what they look like in week 7, because Again, a lot of these teams will be playing. Some of them are playing some pretty tough opponents. Definitely an opportunity here heading into Week 6 for these rankings to look incredibly different in Week 7. So we'll have to stay tuned and see what happens there. But exciting times in the NFL. With that will go ahead and do it for our Power Rankings episode today. If you enjoyed the show, please do help the channel grow. Liking this video and subscribing to the channel are the two best ways to do that. We do have a goal of reaching 100 subscribers so we can get our custom URL for our YouTube channel. We're making great progress towards it, but if you haven't done so already, please do consider subscribing to the channel. And if you want to be kept up to date when we're going live with all our great videos, of course, we have a whole slate of videos coming up this week. We do one a day on various NFL topics. Make sure you ring that bell as well and get notifications sent to either your browser or your mobile device when we're going live. Until the next video, which will be tomorrow, we'll be taking a look at the latest injury and roster news updates across the NFL. Until then, I'm Kevin Marheine. We'll catch you during the next video. Bye-bye.